Djibouti Télécom, chaque jour, plus proche de vous.
Bien avant que tu ne naisses, j'en savais déjà beaucoup sur toi. Tout ce que je fais pour toi, c'est par amour. Et je veux te donner ce qu'il y a de meilleur. Aujourd'hui, si tu pleures pour ton premier jour d'école, je risque de pleurer encore plus.
Nouveau Nido Fortigro, une combinaison unique de vitamines, minéraux et protéines de qualité qui aide vos enfants à grandir et réussir. Ayez confiance en vous. Nido, votre amour, leur futur.
Hello, good evening. It's time for the English edition. Welcome to our newsroom. The headline for tonight, Saturday, 23 January 2016 are: the head of state left Djibouti to Jordan. New Ebola cases represent second generation of virus in Sierra Leone.
Thanks to join us. The head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, left today early in the afternoon the country to Jordan for a 24-hour working mission. The head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, will meet with the prominent policymakers of the kingdom, such as King Abdullah II of Jordan.
The Commission for Legislation in the General Administration of the National Assembly has been held today in the hall of the Standing Committee of the Parliament, chaired by Hasna Hamad Bilil, Vice President of the Commission. The working session has at its agenda an important bill tabled by the deputies Ilmi Musa Hassan, Safia Ilmi Jibril, Abdullah Barkhad Ibrahim and Muhammad Ali Fuliye, and all the legal status of the political opposition. Indeed, this proposal President Act, the first of its kind in our country, is a political innovation, a historic democratic progress which largely benefit the opposition. It is explained that the 70th legislature of the parliament of our country is characterized by the presence of members of the opposition, the timely opportunity to give the opposition of a statute, Djibouti placing it in a standardized format that a statute ensure the effectiveness and enjoy of a right and determine its obligation and duty in a democratic and pluralist environment.
The bill for the political oppositions will therefore seek further democracy in our country because it impels the political and democratic reform which recognize more right than justice to the oppositions in order to allow the entrenchment of political stability in our country and in accordance with democratic rules. The objective therefore is to give the opposition a legal status while laying a framework to bring about a peaceful democracy characterized by the tolerance, mutual acceptance and with fraternal and fruitful discussions. After these discussions and outcome of their discussions with members and for carriers this bill, members of the Committee on the Legislation and General Administration gave a favorable opinion in order to place the proposal law in the agenda of the next sitting of the National Assembly next Sunday, 31 January 2016. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Dr. Jama Ilmi Uki, has chaired this morning the luncheon training ceremony in fishing established by Education Department for 100 unemployed young with dropped out of school in early age. Colonel Wais Omar Bogore, Commander-in-Chief of the Djiboutian Coast Guard, which gave his support in the implementation of this training, as well as men of senior attended to the ceremony. However, this training is part of the government's flagship measures in its fight against the unemployment policy to implement short-term training to enable young school leavers are unemployed to acquire all the skills necessary for their socio-professional insertion. At the ceremony, a training on behalf of young people who will benefit from this training expressed his gratitude to the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, for his socio-professional integration policy for school youth. The Minister of Education, Dr. Jamal Al-Maukiye, he welcomed the holistic and far-sighted policy of the President of the Republic, which aims to develop human capital in the fight against poverty and social exclusion. Finally, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Dr. Jamal Al-Maukiye, conducted with officials training MERFOP an outreach tower boat from the Coast Guard.
The Minister of Education and Vocational Training, Dr. Jamal Al-Maukiye, has welcomed this holistic and far-sighted policy of the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, which aim to develop human capital for the fight against poverty and social exclusion. In his speech for this occasion, the Minister said, fulfilling a formation of a capital importance for more than 100 young people, this training, which is entire in the conducting line traced by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, its aim on the one hand the fight against unemployment and the insecurity of young people, but it is to increase the exploitation of our wealth, indicate the Minister. Through this training, we will also catch driving a vast movement of mutation of the artisanal fishing toward trade fishing more structured and more professional, conclude the Minister.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Qasim Isaqa Osman, accompanied by a delegation of his department, went this morning in Obok for receiving a large batch of equipment and medical devices intended for the hospital medical center of the region. The equipment was donated by UNICEF, partner in development of the Ministry of Health in strengthening the health system. The Ministry also handed over a new ambulance and was donated by Saudi Arabia for capacity for the hospital for the Yemeni refugee Markazi camp. This ambulance is the second granted for the Obok Medical Center region. The prominent persons of the regions who attended this donation were the Prefect of the region, Mr. Hassan Dabele, the President of the Regional Council, Mr. Ali Ahmed Hassan, the UNICEF representative, Mr. Abdo Parliament, and Doctors Kamil Hassan and Hulem Arbahim, Chief Doctor of the Hospital Medical Center. The main purpose of this donation is to draw the perfect space and material for pregnant women to give in a good condition with the adequate materials and equipments.
On the sideline of the meeting, the Minister of Health, Dr. Qasim Isaqa Osman, has made the notable of the Obok region. He initially praised for the mobilization carried out by the fourth team of the President of the Republic. The Minister of Health said in substance that the Obok region is better placed than anyone to know the value of the peace and security, and that it can be eyes witness and those who have filed the war. Finally, the Minister of Health invite the population of Obok rally behind the President of the Republic, and especially to preserve peace.
For his part, the Minister of Health, Dr. Qasim Isaqa Osman, has thanked the UNICEF representative and UNFPA for their constant support they bring to his department. Upon receipt of the equipment which are provided by the UNICEF, this factor of block of operation of Obok will be functional in 10 days on the instructions of the Chief of the State as the regions of Obok. The other regions will also have a surgical block. This will avoid the move to Djibouti.
News release: the Maritime Affairs Department announcing to the public that the Mohammed Burhan Qasim ferry boat will not make its weekly destination this Sunday, January 2024, to Obok. The Maritime Affairs Department is sorry for this cancellation to the public and is taking further understanding.
In the framework of joint actions, the Community Board of District 3 has launched this morning a construction site of a basketball field within the enclosure of the same CDC. This community initiative was a success thanks to the support of the Secretary of State for Youth and Sports and the other partners, particularly the Merchant District, to emphasize the strong involvement of young people and mothers of the district who have demonstrated a civic solidarity instilled by the social and educational policy of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh.
Under the leadership of the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, the Djiboutian Handball Federation has organized yesterday evening the final of the Super Cup 2050-2060. This final was played between the champion of the National Championship, Young Hope, and the winning team of the Cup of June 27, Golden Boys. The match took place at the gymnasium of the High School Lycée d'État. This sports ceremony was attended by the Director of the National Institute of Sport Training, Mr. Saeed Ali Hussein, the President of the Djiboutian Handball Federation, Mr. Fouad Ramzi, and other specialist discipline. For this occasion, many fans made the trip to encourage their team. So it was a movement. It was a moment of the conviviality and sharing between the young lover of the sport. However, the team Hope Young Boy scored of 21-24 against the Golden Boys. Let's recall that Djibouti, as elsewhere, sport victor, unite value and brotherhood between people, and also contribute to consolidate this unity between Djibouti. The Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, Mr. Badoul Hassan Badoul, has congratulated the Federation and especially the winning team for their involvement in the promotion and the development of sport in accordance with the political of the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh. First, a supporter of the national sport, but also a craftsman and guarantor of the national unity.
In the continental news, a week later, after the Ebola virus being eradicated, a new second Ebola generation virus has been found in Sierra Leone. Let's listen to Saeed Mohammed.
2 new Ebola cases have been confirmed in Sierra Leone, which indicates that the deadly virus is not controlled and is now in its second generation. The World Health Organization said adding that there's currently no vaccines against it. The second generation is the one which is not controlled, said Bruce, World Health Organization Special Representative for Ebola Response. On Thursday, the World Health Organization confirmed yet another case of the virus, the second since West Africa was declared Ebola-free last week. Sierra Leone, where both new cases were registered, declared the end of Ebola transmission in November 2015, beginning a 90-day period of enhanced surveillance. Sierra Leone's health minister has blamed the winding down of international attention to the countries for it being unable to stop Ebola from re-emerging. The World Health Organization warned that the new cases were reflecting the ongoing risk of new flare-ups of the virus in affected countries. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said that despite all known chain of Ebola transmission being blocked in West Africa, new outbreaks are likely to occur in 2016. The most recent massive Ebola outbreak began in Guinea in December 2013, before quickly spreading to Liberia and Sierra Leone, and ultimately claiming 12,000 lives according to the World Health Organization estimations.
The United Nations has confirmed after its deadly passage in the Middle East, El Nino is threatening the life of these 60 million people. Let's see it with more detail.
The United Nations World Health Organization and its partners announced today they predict a major global increase in health consequences of emergencies this year due to El Nino. El Nino is a warming of the central to eastern tropical Pacific Ocean, which affect rainfall patterns and temperatures in many parts of the world, but most intensely in the tropical region of Africa, Asia Pacific, Latin America, which are particularly vulnerable to natural hazards. Typically, some places receive much more rain than normal, while others receive much less. From the Horn region to Haiti, and to New Guinea, we are seeing the damage from El Nino, and we believe the impact on public health is likely to continue throughout 2016, even after El Nino winds down, said Dr. Richard Brennan, director of the World Health Organization Emergency Risk Management and Humanitarian Response Department, in a press release. To prevent unnecessary death and illness, government must invest now in strengthening their preparedness and response efforts, he highlighted. According to a new report by the WHO, severe dryness, flooding, heavy rains, and temperature rise are all known effects of El Nino that can lead to food insecurity and malnutrition, disease outbreaks, acute water shortage, and disruption of health services.
In the United States, it's being described as a blizzard of epic proportions. Snowstorm Jonas Stormed is sweeping across the east coast of the United States, carrying with the east power cut an estimated $1 billion worth of damage and a threat that whole cities could grind to a halt. The National Weather Service warned of life-threatening conditions. Strong winds will combine with heavy snow to produce life-threatening blizzard conditions across portions of the mid-Atlantic Friday night and Saturday. It posted in an online forecast approximately 1 in 4 Americans, over 85 million people, have been affected by the blizzard, storms, or freezing rain. Warning since starting on Friday, the streets of the capital are blanketed in snow, while in New York, Mayor Bill de Blasio warned starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning it will be declaring a local winter weather emergency for New York City, and that will stay in effect throughout the day Saturday until the end of Saturday, midnight Saturday, going into Sunday. Stay off of the roads. It's as simple as that. At least 9 people have died in storm-related road accidents since the blizzard began. States of emergency have been declared across 6 parts of the others.
Italian finance police stopped a suspicious vehicle in Rome and found more than $2.5 billion in counterfeit U.S. currency. 2 Italians inside the black Jeep reportedly claimed to be heading from a film studio in the city, but when officials opened parcel on board, they discovered the dirty dollars.
That was for tonight's news. Thank you for watching us.